All right, today we're talking about something that's really changing the game for U.S. firms, global accounting. And look, this is so much more than just spreadsheets. We're talking about building a financial engine that runs literally 24/7, tapping into incredible talent from all over the world. So let's dive right in.
So, let me ask you something. We live in a world that's, well, it's always on, right? So does it really make sense for your financial operations to just clock out at 5 p.m.? I mean, if you're only looking for talent in your own backyard, you might be missing out on a huge world of potential.
You know, the whole post-pandemic era, it totally changed how we think about the office, didn't it? We've all seen firsthand that amazing, top-tier collaboration can happen from literally anywhere. And finance? Oh yeah, it's no exception. Thanks to things like secure cloud tech and instant communication, those old geographical walls, they've pretty much come tumbling down.
And this is a really fundamental shift in how we think about this stuff. For years, outsourcing was basically a code word for cutting costs. But now, the really smart firms see it for what it is, a strategic move. It's about getting access to a global pool of absolute experts and creating a workflow that, you guessed it, never sleeps.
Okay, so when you're looking at building a global accounting team, you've basically got two main paths you can go down: nearshore and offshore. Let's break down what that actually means.
All right, first up, nearshoring. The easiest way to think about this is just extending your team to a neighboring country. The key here is closeness. We're talking geography and, more importantly, time zones. This makes it absolutely perfect for smooth, real-time collaboration.
So why would you go with a nearshore partner? Well, it's pretty ideal if your work has a ton of back and forth, you need super quick turnarounds, and having a close cultural alignment is important. It really hits that sweet spot between being accessible and cost-effective.
Now, for the other option, offshore accounting. This is where you partner with experts in places that are a bit further away, with India being a huge player. And this model isn't just about the day-to-day tasks. No, this is about tapping into some seriously deep expertise and building a partnership that can really grow as your firm grows.
So when it comes down to it, choosing between nearshore and offshore really depends on your main goal. If what you need is constant communication, like your team is right in the next office, then yeah, nearshore is your answer. But if you need a total powerhouse team for more complex stuff that can scale up with you, offshore is absolutely the way to go. And get this, with offshore, that big time zone difference, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's what makes that 24/7 productivity actually happen.
Okay, so when we talk about offshore accounting, there's one country that just completely dominates the conversation, and that's India. So let's dig into why it's become the undisputed leader here.
You'll hear this phrase a lot. India is the gold standard for offshore accounting. And I want to be clear, this is not some new trend. We're talking about decades of building up this incredible ecosystem of financial expertise that companies all over the world trust. It's a proven, super reliable system.
So what's the secret sauce? What's behind this gold standard reputation? Well, it's this really powerful mix of things. First, there's a massive talent pool of highly qualified accountants who know both international standards, that's IFRS, and US standards, US GAAP, inside and out. Plus, they have this tech-first mindset, really embracing things like AI and automation. And you top it all off with a long, proven track record of getting it right.
And it's really important to get this straight. We are not talking about hiring a few freelancers here. Nope. We're talking about established professional CPA firms in India that are built from the ground up to serve US clients. They get the regulations, they provide a complete end-to-end service, and they make sure everything is 100% compliant.
All right, so the strategy makes a ton of sense on paper, right? But how does it actually work day to day? Let's get into the real nuts and bolts of how you manage a global financial team.
So two of the roles you see outsourced most often are the accounting manager and the controller, and they have very different but totally complementary jobs. Just think of the accounting manager as being in the trenches, you know? They're handling the daily stuff, making sure the books are perfect. The controller, on the other hand, is more the strategist. They're looking at the big picture, high-level reports, compliance, and the company's long-term financial health. And you know, the real beauty of this whole model is just how flexible it is. Do you need help with the daily transactions? Check. Or maybe you need that high-level strategic planning? Check. Or maybe you need both. You can absolutely find a global partner that has the exact expertise to plug right into whatever you need.
Of course, none of this would be possible without a really solid technology stack. I mean, think of it as the engine that powers this whole thing. It all starts with cloud software, so everyone has access to the same data in real time.
No more guessing games. Then you layer on things like AI analytics to get smarter forecasts and make better decisions. You bring in automation to handle all those repetitive tasks and slash manual errors. And then you wrap the whole thing in ironclad security to make sure your financial data is always protected.
Okay, so we've seen how it all works, but what's the bottom line? What's the ultimate payoff for your firm? What's the real tangible impact of going global with your financial strategy?
The advantages are pretty clear. I mean, yeah, you're going to lower your operational costs, that's kind of a given, but the real wins, the bigger wins, are getting access to this enormous global talent pool, and, this is the big one, freeing up your own team. When you delegate all those complex financial functions, your people can finally focus on what really moves the needle, serving clients and actually growing the business.
When you think about it, it's really a true win-win scenario. Your firm gets way more efficient, way more agile. Your US-based team gets to break free from the daily grind of accounting and focus on big-picture strategy and building client relationships. And you get all of this while receiving absolutely top-tier, fully compliant financial services. It's the best of all worlds.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We're in a global economy. Your competition is probably already thinking and acting globally. So the real question isn't, can you afford to expand your firm's borders? It's, can you really afford not to?